Welcome to Speedy Walkthroughs, where we show just the important stuff for beating the game. For first-time viewers, this will look different to a normal walkthrough. It shows just the essentials, so you don't need to spend a long time watching this video. Today we're playing Glover, and specifically the N64 version, as the other versions are a little bit different to this one. I'll be showing you how to get 100% in this game. Before we start, if you like this video, consider subscribing to keep up to date. It helps out the channel a whole bunch, and there should be a new walkthrough out each week. Alright, so we'll make a start, watch the opening cutscene, and then you should gain control. Now the game starts out here, and I'll briefly go over controls. To test these out, just make sure you walk over to the ball over here and collect that, and that's sort of the main way you move around the game. So there's lots of like physics and motion and bouncing and stuff with this. Now that's some controls straight out of the manual. You can see that it is pretty complicated. It's all very physics based. So my main focus in this walkthrough is going to be where are all the items, the garabs that you have to collect. But I thought I'd put them here. You'll gradually build up a feel for these controls. And the controls are complicated enough that there's a second page in the manual as well. So there it is. Alright, so as we saw before, we're going to grab the ball and enter straight into this door. And that'll load us into this room. And this is pretty much where we go to unlock all the areas in the game. So we're going to leave here and go straight out this way into this section. And this will sort of be the first bunch of levels here. So each level has a certain number of garabs that you have to collect. So they're these card things here. And that'll be the main thing I'm covering in this walkthrough. So you want to go through, basically make sure your count up the top left is the same as my count on here. And there are some pretty tricky hidden ones. So we're getting all these around here. You can see that some of them I'm walking for, the others I'm sort of using the ball to get. If you hit the ball into the garabs, then that works out well. So we're just going to head down here, ground pound that enemy there, and ground pound these boxes. There are some garabs inside there. Alright, next we're making our way up this bit. Now, there are garabs at the top of this pole just to my left. So you can either throw the ball up like that and try and hit them. I think there are 3 up there. Or you can transfer the ball into a bowling ball with the R button and knock over the pole. So those are the 2 ways to get those. So you can see I've got 29 now. And I'm going to try and get that 30th. So if you throw it up, you get 30. Otherwise, you just got to knock over the pole to get those 3. Anyway, we'll go through the rest here. Keep going around here, grabbing all those. And we've got a switch here so we can ground pound that, and that opens up the door as well. So you're going to try and bounce the ball here, and you can throw it upwards to get the garabs above you there if you don't want to bounce up to them. And then we can get this last couple here. Alright, so I'm short 1, but it was just above my head there, so if we throw it up, we should have all 50 before going through this door. Alright, so we finish out that level. And then we're straight into the second one. So I'll be going a bit quicker here, but I'll point out where all the important garabs are. So in these pots, you have to ground pound those. Also, you have to ground pound the enemies too. There's some on the back of that roof. They're very easy to miss. And we drop down here, we got a door there. So you use the bowling ball to sort of go through there. Remember, that's R to transform into the different balls. And we're going to go back up here. Alright, a couple on this roof here. Make sure you're ground pounding all the enemies you see, because they'll often have one inside. And we got to go into this other ball here that's a bit heavier, so it can go into the water there. It's that white coloured one. And you can transfer back into the normal ball there. Go up the top here to grab a few more. Alright, here we go. Now, I had a bit of trouble getting across that gap there, but I was sort of just bouncing up across. So that's how you get through that way. Alright, next level, we're going to turn around here, grab those few at the start. Again, there's an enemy here, so ground pound that. I'm going to go through here. Whole bunch of enemies here, just ground pound all those to get rid of them. And we're going to grab the power up, which makes us go pretty fast. So I'll be going around and grabbing as many garabs as I can. There are a few under this waterfall here. These are super easy to miss because you've got to almost fall off the course to get them. We can go back to that checkpoint there that we activated before, and that puts us back up to this section. I'm going to be trying to bounce around that thing there. I was pretty unsuccessful, unfortunately. But I did get the ball across there, so I'm just going to jump back and join that. Keep going through, ground pounding all the enemies. There's some more garabs underneath the water here, so grab all those. Around the corner here, there's some very easy ones to miss, so you got to hit that switch and drop down. There's a few in this corridor here. And we go through this door, which just brings us to a different area. We can grab this power up to walk all over the roof, and there's a few here as well. There they are. When you're ready, just jump off that and head back through this door. Alright, across this blue path again. And we're just going around the other side to grab some more, and we should have all 80 at this point. There we go. And we're going to go straight in there into our next level. Alright, this is like a boss fight here. So you can see the health bar up the top. You just got to hit the guy down the bottom. And if you see the colors at the top of the screen, that'll be the one that you've got to hit. So we're going to hit orange up there now. And there we go. Use a bowling ball to help too. And straight onto that platform. And we're now out into the next section. So we're going to go into here. This is like a little Frogger clone. So we're just going to bounce across here, trying to grab all the garabs along the way. You can use your tongue to pick some up as well. And you can also bend it as it's going. So that's a really good way to get around corners and stuff to grab them. Alright, grabbing those here. Alright, should have all 25 here, so now we're just heading back towards the exit. That arrow is showing us the way. There we go. Alright, next we're just pausing and hitting that second option to return. Now we're going to go back into this section. And throw the ball into the center, and that's going to unlock a new area. And you're probably seeing the loop of the game now, so we're just going to head into this next bit here. And straight into door number 1. Alright, this is like a carnival area. We want to ground pound the enemies, grab the ball. And we got the conveyor belts here. Pick up these. And we can actually go through the gate ourselves. We just can't get the ball through there, but there's a switch on the other side to open that, so that'll help out. I'm just going to walk up this slide. There's no point trying to bring the ball up. If you can do some tricky jumps, you can get up to the top, and then we'll slide back down. I'm going to walk back to this checkpoint here. And we've got a mini game to play, so you've got to use the white ball there. And pick it up with the magnet. And you get both sides there, it'll activate a switch. There we go. And last of those 4 tracks, then we're going to go back to the checkpoint, make sure you got 32 garabs. Going up the slope here. And we go straight onto this bit. Make sure you ground pound all these enemies here. That'll activate the switch once you've done that. It's another platform. Back to the checkpoint now from the pause menu. Get onto this thing and you're going to be able to bounce very high. Get all the garabs up the top here. We'll grab the ball there and go and get some more. We're going to play this machine here, so we're trying to lock in and get that 3 to match in a row. Once one of them matches, you can hit the switch to lock that one in. So that's how you do that. Go straight up here and into that. Alright, we get the results screen and the next level. So it's another carnival level. There's a garab straight behind the sort of building there, so you got to watch out and be really careful about that one. Alright, so jump into this cart and we're going to go across this way. Next we're going up here. Use the bowling ball here. You can knock out this guy's teeth. And we'll get some garabs from doing that. Going to go around here now, grabbing all these and straight into the water. These platforms sort of drop you down. And we're going to go onto this Ferris wheel thing and take the wind up. The fan will turn off there now when we hit that switch, so we just drop down and grab these few. And then we're going to go around the edge here to grab these ones. And back out into the water here, grab a few more. And we can get the helicopter thing to get back out. And that's actually all of them now. So we're going to head onto this blue slide. And we're done. Alright, coming into the next level here, grab this blue guy. I'm going to bounce across the fence to grab all these. And we can just return to checkpoint, which will bring us back to the start of the level there. Alright, so if you hit these, they'll sort of open up different areas along each side. I'm going to go up the path here and onto these swingy things. These are an absolute pain to deal with. Grab the garabs around the edge there. And we're going across the checkerboard. Dropping down here. Got some more to get. We'll try and bounce across these slopes. And that'll open up a new path there. So we're just going to go through this door now. Straight across through here. There's a whole bunch to grab around this bit. And there we go. I'm going to go up this slope here. And into there. Alright, so we got sort of a boss fight here. And hit the target there. And take him out. Again, hit the target around here. And drop the piano. And then that's done. Alright, next we're going into this door. So first of all, shoot out all the garabs there. Should get 20. And now we're going to line up and hit all these. And there we go. Once you've done that, we can return to castle. And we're going to head back across here. Alright, again, throw your ball into the center. And we're going to head across to this section here. Straight into door number 1. Alright, jump off the edge there. We should get 4 straight away. There's a couple around the ship there. Return to checkpoint. We're going to go back here, raise the water. You can actually go onto the water with the ball. This one will sink here, so we've got to bring it downwards. Straight onto this switch here, and that will open that bit up. You're going to go back up. Turn it back to the normal ball. And there we go. It's going up there, we're going to raise that platform. And it's going to drop down and ground pound that guy before I head up with the ball. Grab these few around here. And the ones behind that building, they're super easy to miss. Alright, we're going to activate Womp's Fortress. Every N64 game has to have one of those. And then fall back down. Alright, next up, just taking care of these boxes here. Let's switch onto one of them. Make sure you get the garabs down here. That should be all 70 now. So grab the ball, hit the switch. And we'll get a platform now. And straight across. Alright, that's that level finished. Heading into the next one. So we've got these platforms here to ride up. This one too. And you're heading up the tree. Watch out for the swords. And we're going to go across and grab these. Drop down onto the stairs. And we'll drain the water there, back to the checkpoint now. Alright, heading across there, we'll open up that door to the end of the level. Just take care of that enemy down there. Straight across, we spawned some more of these, so we'll grab those before we head back through, and there's the last 4 and the level exit. That's that level done, we're on to the next one. Grab the 4 at the start there. Want to activate the checkpoint. Drop down into this cave here, this one's super easy to miss, so you go up onto the roof and grab these. Return to checkpoint now. Got a few there to grab. Going to hit that switch to bring this across, and we're just going to sort of bounce up and get these ones. When you're ready, jump back up and bring the ball into this section. I'm going to hit that switch there and grab the fuel around the edge. Across here we got some more to get. And ground pound the enemy and drop down. I'm going to grab the fuel underneath there. Now we want to try and push that box there until we can hit the switch, and we'll return to checkpoint now. Let's grab this one here and heading across. If we make our way back, then this platform will rise up. We got 4 to grab back here and the enemy. Some in the roof there, make sure you don't miss those ones. And take care of all 3 of these enemies. Bring the ball up, and a couple in the path down there. And then there's 2 just on the top of that bit. So I sort of did a high jump bounce off the ball. I think if you like ground pound onto the ball, you can get like a really high bounce off of it. Alright, so we've got a boss to take care of here. So we're going to hit the ball at him and make him swing, and he's going to fall off. There we go. Once again, just ground pound on him when he's down there. Now that'll open up. Alright, into the mini game now. So just grabbing these here. Ground pound those. Alright, there we go, that's all 50 and the mini game done. We're returning to castle out of the pause menu. You just head straight through here. Same thing as before, just throw the ball into the middle, unlocks a new area. Right, now that we've got that, we're going to head across this way and straight into this blue one. And into door 1. Alright, very rainy in this one. So we're going to do that high jump off the ball that I was talking about before. Quite often having the ball against a wall helps, so it doesn't sort of roll away when you do that. Alright, join these 2 coffin things. Grab the garabs off the top of it. Going to drop down here and grab these for you, and we'll return to the checkpoint. Grab the helicopter power up. We're flying all the way up to this platform and then dropping back down. Going to get the super big ball there. It'll wear off eventually, so just keep going around grabbing these. Take care of the enemies down here. Alright, so we want to try and throw it into that target there. And if you bounce against this thing, it'll knock over. So we're at 58 now. And then there's the last 2 around the edge there. So we use a bowling ball to sort of push the cubes in and then join up and complete this circuit sort of thing. Alright, hit the switch there. Going up and across. Alright, when you're ready, push this thing in. You got to hit the target behind it. That'll drop some garabs there. And go around. We should have 17 now. Straight through here. Grab the ones around the edge now. Do the bounce off the ball to get up the top here. And throw the ball back onto the switch and then run through the door. That's the strategy there. Then we can open up the door and bring the ball back through. Keep going around here. And we should have all 60 there now. Alright, next up. So I'm going to go through here. Take a little detour to grab these ones. And we can get that super beach ball thing. Bounce around the grate there and across the spikes here. There's a few more there to grab. And a few more along this roof. Careful of the electricity. There we go, that should be all 70. And there's the exit. Alright, we've got a boss here. This boss is a little bit strange. You got these platforms around the edge, which are going to be really important. So you sort of want to jump up and ground pound them down. But do it in such a way that you can always reach the next one. You never want one that's too high that you can't actually walk over to it. So there we go. Grab the ball there and throw it up onto the switch. And that should be the boss over. So yeah, the idea is to sort of make a staircase up to the top of that boss arena and then bring the ball up to the top. Just going through this maze now. Should be all 56 there and the exit. Alright, we've done that, return to castle. We're going to do the same thing as before, just heading back in. Put the ball onto the center and walk out, that's the new area. And we're going to head over to that new area that we've unlocked. Alright, so it's this tree stump area. And straight into the first bit. Alright, so heading through here. Got a snowball there. Use the bowling ball to break through the ice bits. And we'll grab all these on these platforms here. You can ground pound through the ice there to grab these underneath. We want to sort of bounce up and throw the ball up here. Grab these here. Bowling ball should help you get through that bit. Straight up here. Alright, so just head around grabbing these few and we'll head back out. I'm going to throw the bowling ball against these and get through. That's the end. Alright, next up we're going to head down this. Bit of a change from the snowy landscape. Drop the bowling ball off the edge there. And we want to break down this wall here. Grab the rest of the garabs up here, ground pound that dude, and we're going to drop down here. Jumping across this gap, and we'll return back to the checkpoint. And try and bounce up here, throw the ball up. And we'll come back up and join it. Bring it all the way here, just activating another checkpoint there, and we'll hit the target. Grabbing these four and we'll be bouncing across here. Do your ground pound high jump thing on the ball there. Remember, if it's against a wall, that helps quite a bit, stops it from moving away. Back across there to grab the two garabs. And we got a checkpoint there and a few more of these to collect, so we'll just activate that checkpoint. Heading back up here, another checkpoint to activate. Ground pound this dude. And we're going to grab the 4 there and down the path. Alright, next we've got these to grab around this dude. Now, you basically get the dinosaur to run into the tree, and then that spawns some garabs there. And we jump around these things here to grab a few. You ground pound these guys and drop down the back of this thing. There's a few inside here. I'm going to return to checkpoint now. Hit this switch here, that'll start all these rotating. Those things were just jumping past before. You can see, because I've already got the garabs in between there, it makes it a bit easier. So you got to get the ball up into here, and that'll activate some lightning. And there we go. Hit this target, that will drop the lava down. Back to the checkpoint now. We can head back across this section that we just opened up before. Hit the switch, and we'll return to checkpoint. Alright, hitting the switch here. There we go, just going around the edge there to grab all these. Another checkpoint we can grab too. You ground pound the enemies, and we'll hit the switch there. And we're going to rise back up. Wait for this platform, and we're heading up to grab these. Alright, there we go. Next time we got this boss. It's basically just throw the ball down, try and hit it. You've got to throw it sort of not too far because you want it to turn into a snowball as well. And then we take care of the dinosaur, and that's that bit done. So that ball just turns into a snowball by going down the ramp essentially. We've got a bonus stage here. So pretty much, it's like one of those Crash Bandicoot levels. You're running backwards, trying to outrun the lava. And there we go. Alright, opening up the new section, and that'll be this one over here. And into door 1. Alright, when we start this out, just go behind the sign there. There was some, like a garab behind there to get. These gravity things are very weird, so we just got to keep at it and you'll get all of them. You'll notice that there is lower gravity in this whole level. Cross here to the switch, we'll just hit that. That's going to raise these platforms up. And making our way back down here, I'm going to take care of these enemies around the edge. They'll have garabs in them, so grab those. Next, we're going to go up there, grab the ball back, and bounce across here. Straight onto that switch. Now it's going to bring this platform across. And if we bowling ball down there, that'll break the glass. Alright, then we're sort of going to run around and grab all these. Go back to the normal ball. And we're going to hit that switch to activate the rocket. And heading back across the platforms, and there's the exit. Alright, next up, I'm just going to go grab these garabs here. We'll open up the door there, that'll be the exit to the level. And ground pound these guys. Gonna head up here and grab those. And straight up here, we got the speed upgrade thing. So we're going to return to checkpoint now, I should have 29. Grab these ones in the air above this section. Then we're going to roll down here, hit the switch there. It's going to activate some more platforms. You can see we're sort of making a track from the top to the bottom of the stage. Alright, so that should be all 50 now. I'm going to return to checkpoint, hit the switch, and here we go. Straight through that big obstacle course that we just created, and that's the end. Alright, next up, I'm going to stun that guy. Leave the ball on the switch, ground pound the other switch, that'll open up the door. Got a couple to grab around the edge here. Up this platform, we got a few more and a checkpoint. Keep going across the conveyor belts here, a couple more to grab there. Bounce up here, you've got to ground pound this switch to lower the wall there. On this turny thing, there's heaps behind this. And bring the ball back across. I'm going to return to the checkpoint. Just going to go straight forward on these conveyors and onto that bit. I'm going to start that turny thing. That'll give us some wind up here to get all the garabs there. We want to turn the ball into the white one there and raise it up. Alright, coming back across here. Grab all the ones around the edge there, and there's a couple across the gap. Those are pretty easy to miss, those ones. That should be all 80. And there we go. Next, we got a boss fight here. So this dude's going to go big. I'm going to bring the ball across to him. Watch out for those guys. You want to sort of go underneath his foot and bring the ball in there. Now that we're up here, you can throw the ball down there and try and hit the glove with it. Alright, so he's going to go into that big robot thing. So you just got to keep hitting at his arms and stuff, and then his central body. Watch out for the spiders that he's going to drop down there. And then keep attacking him like that. And then he should be defeated. Alright, cool. So that's that level finished. We got a bonus to go into. So we're just going to fly around and grab all these. Probably a good strategy is what I'm doing here, like get them vertically, not horizontally. So go up one line of them and then go down the other line of them. It's probably the easiest way to go about it. There we go, and there's the exit. Okay, so we finished that bonus level. Now we're going to head back out, return to castle. We do that, straight back here. And there we go. So we've activated all of these, and we're going to get the ending cutscene. So that'll all play out, and then we get the credits, and that should be 100% through the game. That's going to be all for this video. I hope you found it useful, and thanks so much for watching.